Hello students, I am Manju Chawla and this time I am going to explain poem 2 of CBSE class 12 Flamingo book, An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum by Stephen Spender. Before we read about the poem, I would like to tell you something about the poet Stephen Spender. You know, dear students, Stephen Spender, who was born in 1909, was a poet, critic, journalist, and lecturer. He started by writing leftist poetry. His poetry is very individualistic and deals with social and economic problems. His reputation for humanism and honesty is fully vindicated in subsequent volumes of him, like Runes and Vision, Poems of Dedication, The Edge of Being, Selected Poems, The Generous Days, and Dolphins. If we talk about the theme of the poem, An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum, it deals with the social injustice and class inequalities. It is an attack on the capitalistic economies in which the rich are becoming richer, and even more and more problems and miseries mire the lives of the poor. They are devoid of any opportunity and have become prey to the social discrimination. Through this poem, Stephen Spender he demands equal opportunity for education for the poor and the underprivileged. Now, let's begin with the explanation of a first stanza which says, Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces, like rootless weeds, the hair torn round their pallor, the tall girl with her weighed down head, the paper seeming boy with rat's eyes, the stunted, unlucky ear of twisted bones, reciting a father's gnarled disease, his lesson from his desk. At back of the dim class, one unnoted, sweet and young. His eyes live in a dream of squirrel's game in a tree room other than this. Now we will go with the line to line explanation of this extract. The first line says, Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces. Here, actually, the poet describes the pathetic and miserable condition of the children sitting in a classroom in a slum school. He says, the children's faces are not like the usual children of schools. They are far away from the beautiful sights of nature. Unlike other school children who are usually energetic and full of life, these children seem withered and lifeless. They have no exuberance on their faces. Further, poet says, like rootless weeds, the hair torn round their pallor. The children of the slum are considered unwanted and insignificant in society according to these lines, just as weeds are unwanted in the garden. They are rootless. Why? Because they have no ties. After that, the poet tells about their condition, like their disorderly and unkempt hair looks like rootless wild herbs or plants on their pallor faces. Pale faces. Pallor means, dear students, pale faces, like their hair are strewn on their pale faces, and these children are totally unwanted and unwelcomed in the society. The next line says, the tall girl with her weighed down head. Here, the poet is talking about some of the students who are sitting in the classroom. He says, the tall girl in the classroom is very depressed. She keeps her head down, being burdened by sad thoughts. As there are some sad thoughts, she is depressed, That is why she is keeping her head down. The girl is perhaps physically and mentally exhausted due to her poverty. The next line says, the paper seeming boy with rat's eyes, the stunted, unlucky heir of twisted bones, reciting a father's gnarled disease, his lesson from his desk. Here, poet says, the other students of the class are not in a better situation either. There is a boy sitting in the class who is as thin as paper. He is quite skinny, undoubtedly because of malnutrition. He has bulging eyes like that of a rat, which signifies his hunger also. He is undeveloped and an unfortunate successor. He has distorted bones. He has inherited this naughty disease from his father and recites his lesson from his desk in a mellow and weak voice. The last lines of this extract says, at back of the dim class, one unnoted, sweet and young, his eyes live in a dream of squirrel's game in tree room other than this. In these lines, poet has used antithesis. He says, in contrast to these children, there is sitting an unnoticed, sweet and young boy too at the back of the class which is mentioned the dim class because there is no proper light and ventilation. The poet describes that this boy has dreams in his eyes. He is different from other students. He dreams of outdoor games outside his monotonous and drab classroom. He dreams of a squirrel playing games in the hollow of the tree. So we can see that through last lines the poet, by giving example of that sweet and young boy, is showing his hope, his optimism. So this is the complete explanation of this first extract. Dear students, now I would like to just make you acquainted with some of the difficult words which have been used in this first extract. Let's have a look at the words. First word is gusty, which means blowing strongly. The second word is weeds, which means useless wild plants. The third word is pallor. Pallor means pale faces. The next word is heir. Heir means successor. The next word is gnarled, means naughty. Gnarled disease means naughty disease. The last but not the least is reciting, which means enumerating or describing. In this extract, poet has used some poetic devices also very beautifully, dear students. Let me tell you about those poetic devices. First of all, in the beginning lines, we find repetition in the words far, far. As there is same word is being used, so which poetic device is used here? It is repetition. Then second, we have alliteration, dear students. In far from, ff, same sounding words denotes. Here alliteration poetic device has been used. The next one is metaphor. Where has it been used? You can see the example on your own. In gusty waves and rat's eyes, we can find metaphor in these phrases, in these words. Further, in the tall girl and paper seeming boy, you know which poetic device has been used in these? Imagery, dear students. We find imagery in these words. Last but not the least, we have a simile also here, which is being used in the phrase like rootless weeds. As like is used here, and we know wherever like or as word is used, there we find Poetic device simile. So as usual here in this phrase, like rootless weeds, we have simile. So this was the complete explanation of the first extract with the meaning of the difficult words and some of the poetic devices. I hope you would like the explanation of this extract with this all other details. And dear students, you can find the explanation of other extracts in my next video. Till then, bye-bye. And thank you for watching this video. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank